So we move on.
Let's move on. Number five.
We got Denmark. The Prime Minister of Denmark, Mette Frederiksen. She has called for a general election for 1 November. After, remember, you're going to love this story, why the government in Denmark collapses. This is a story into a Scandinavian government's collapse. And it has collapsed after a member of her ruling coalition threatened to withdraw its support over her handling of the country's controversial COVID mass Mink cull. You remember what happened during COVID? There was a thing that we found out in Denmark. That's what they've got shitloads of minks that they farm to make the fur that they sell. And some of them caught COVID. And so they killed all of them. That was Frederiksen's decision. And this has apparently destroyed the Scandinavian government. Polls show the race is too close to call, as we've seen in many countries now, with the red bloc of left-leaning parties led by Frederiksen's Social Democrats on 47 to 50%, and its rival blue bloc, which includes the Liberal and Conservative parties and the three nationalist parties, on 49 to 50%. So basically tied. Blue bloc seems to be getting slightly more. Frederiksen's popularity has slipped after the government's 2020 decision to cull Denmark's entire captive mink population of 15 million for fear of 15 million minks they culled.
It's going to be like 30 times the population of Denmark.
There's going to be some bloodletting for fear of a COVID-19 mutation moving from the animals to humans that could jeopardize future vaccines.
We got it exactly right. Denmark has 5.8 million people and they killed 15 million minks.
They had to, Luigi. They had to for humanity. A parliament appointed for humanity, that could jeopardize future vaccines.
Yeah, very Attack on Titan-like.
Yeah,
for humanity.
A parliament appointed commission said in June that the government had lacked legal justification for the cull and made grossly misleading statements when it ordered Europe's first compulsory shutdown of an entire farm sector. You can imagine that you've got a farm sector that is very angry about this. While the cull was illegal, the commission agreed with Frederiksen that she had not broken the law intentionally. The decision devastated Denmark's mink industry. As you can imagine, they killed all their products. The country was previously
It's a mink crisis. I don't know, for people maybe that don't know, a mink is like, right, I'm looking at the definition.
Mammalian. Yeah, give us the definition.
Dark-colored, semi-aquatic, carnivorous mammal of the genera Neogale and Mustela. And part of the family,
it's got beautiful
which
fur,
also the family also includes weasels, otters, and ferrets.
Every Russian oligarch's mistress has a mink cold, for God's sake. It has to be done.
You can't be a supervillain without the mink code.
Exactly. The country was previously one of the world's biggest exporters of furs. A poll for the news agency, I'm not going to go with the name, on Monday suggested the red bloc would win 86 of the 179 seats in parliament, one more than the blue bloc on 85. 4 seats were projected to go to the new moderate party, headed by the former Prime Minister Lars Løkke Rasmussen. I mean, yeah.
So it sounds like a villain. Come on, out of a game. Løkke Rasmussen.
He's a moderate. Who has previously led the Liberal Party, has not so far said which bloc he would support. He would be kingmaker in this scenario, suggesting instead that he would like to see a grand coalition of government of moderate center-left and center-right parties. And I want to note that I didn't like what happened in Sweden, because in Germany, for instance, they had a grand coalition between the center-left and the center-right for a decade under Angela's rule.
Angela.
And then the center-left won. So, the center-left came out better out of the coalition in the end.
For sure.
So, and of course, different context, but you can derive lessons from the German example. And in Sweden, if you remember, Luigi, the center-right went all in with the fucking far-right. Dudes. There's other options. You're center-right. You're supposed to not be the fucking fascist far-right. So you can make a coalition with the center-left and rule towards the center.
The center.
Instead of, aligning with fascists. just a pointer.
So Denmark, Mink news.
Mink crisis.
Mink crisis.
A crisis of minks.
And
we killed them. We
a
killed
mink
them.
extinction.
An extinction event. Yeah, it's an extinction event. Who will save us?
Where are the European rights for minks in Denmark?
None. Zero. Less than the immigrants.
See, this is what big government gets you, George.
Yeah.
This is what happens.
This is for you, people. Kisses.
This is for all the libertarians out there. You were right.
Fight for those minks. Fight for them. Fight for them because they're dying. Because the integrity of vaccines. My God, that was gonna extra peeve them off, isn't it? I was gonna be like, they killed them for vaccines that don't even work.
It's a double conspiracy theory.
Yeah, it's gonna be mental.
It's a conspiracy theory within a conspiracy theory.
Yeah. You've given it the treatment, the Christopher Nolan treatment.
Yeah, the Inception treatment.
So we move on. We'll see. I mean, we want them to do the German example and not go with the Swedish example. Has to be noted that in Sweden they got the far right Sweden Democrats, they got the second most votes, 72 seats of them. But you still have the most
Nobody cares about the silver medal, George.
Yeah, but I mean, exactly. So you've got most votes, you've got the center-left still, the Social Democrats, but the center-right wouldn't make an alliance with them, and they went with the fascists, with the, what do you call them? What did Jack call the semi-fascists?
The semi.
So yeah, we want them to follow Germany. Let's move on. Number
Number four.